And welcome to Star Ocean. If you've noticed, there's no music going on because a Windows update kind of killed all of my OBS's sound recording. Um, so yeah, when we last left off, we met this winged folk, and I know I'm not doing the voices at the very moment, just so I can explain what's going on. This may be somewhat difficult for an older person such as myself. Do you think you can do it? Observe! Whoa, it's open. Please excuse me now. I'll go in ahead of you. He left. Yeah. That winged heraldic wizard. Will he be fine? All by himself? Whatever. So at this point, I kind of head back and I notice, oh, Joshua's shadow is still here. So I tried to interact with it and notice it gets me stuck because I'm trying to talk to something that isn't there. Fun times. So I kind of had to restart the game to unstuck myself. There I am. So whatever you do, don't go talking to Joshua's shadow. That's a bad thing. Now then, according to legend, the Eye of Truth should be stored away in the furthest depths of the temple. Which means we should just head in as far as we can, right? Indeed, but I'm quite concerned about that young man with the wings. He appeared to have been in a hurry, yet he likely did not realize that it is dangerous to venture in alone. He should have taken this. That's a cat. Meeting him here was some sort of act of fate. I don't want to see him die helplessly. Neither do I. And they all join back into the party, and we are in the Parj Temple. In here, we see some knights, a wizard of sorts, and a cleric. Yep, so in this area, we're going to have to start dealing with magic users, which initially kind of a issue because while they start off, or they're relatively squishy when you get up close, they do have an opportunity to, deal some serious damage. I do like the motif of this place. It's kind of Art Deco-esque, but also very kind of futuristic. And we get to meet the blue blob here, which go in small organized circles and paths and the like, but yeah, they are essentially they teleport you to a fixed point, which is certainly nice of the game to teach us about this obstacle in the beginning of the map, so that you don't have to worry about dealing too much. Nope, there's nothing in the middle of that square. And flip the switch. I decided initially, nope, because, the last dungeon I was in, I was just flipping switches randomly, and that kind of helped me get really lost. So at this point, I'm like, no, let me try to sit down and figure this one out. And yep, here we deal with pretty girls in the Magus. They are also spell users, just not nearly as good as the Maguses. Also, at this point, I get a bit of slowdown. I'm not sure. It only really appeared during this sequence of gameplay. But yeah, every once in a while I would get slowdown, which kind of sucks. But yeah, like I said, it kind of cleared up after a while. Yeah, I decided to move Ira up to use all of her strength because she's got maximum MP, and I need to have someone do a bit more damage and start stuffing meat down Ashlay's gob because why not? It's available. It's there. And yep, that door is closed, so I realize, that's probably what this switch does. Yay, basic problem solving. The Enix way. And in here, which has some really nice looking architecture, kind of going around, don't go straight ahead because there's always more stuff in the alcoves. And in this case, we get the resist ring, which, if I recall right, is pretty cool. Yeah, reduces magic damage by 9/10, but has a 30% chance of breaking. So it means every time you're hit with magic, there's only a 70% chance that it'll actually stay there. I've noticed that seems to be a big thing with a lot of items in Star Ocean is, I guess they're expecting you to use all of your money in replacing stuff that breaks, like the reverse dolls that raise you from the dead, the resist ring there, the poison potion and the like. They're all just, really fragile, which kinda sucks, but whatever. Oh, and this group, or this room rather. Yeah, and I move Ashlay up to be somewhat more productive. But yeah, this is when we're starting to see those little blue things go along the longer paths, which makes things that much more interesting. That said, we're still dealing with a bunch of magic users. And I continue wondering why Ashlay hasn't recovered any like hit points or magic points, but I think that's because I don't have the right skills on him that let him actually do the recovery thing. Yeah, so this room I'm kind of stuck in for a while, which is not great, but it's a rather complicated little puzzle here, and every time you do a wrong turn or don't move fast enough, you miss out on stuff. And those question mark weapons, yeah, we'll be able to identify them at some point, just not at the very moment, which kind of sucks. Anyway, I'm in a nice little safe area, trying to explore all around. Funny thieves and another pretty bell. Luckily, Ira had the right idea of smacking the pretty bell before she started unleashing her magic. And there we get close to the actual door, but yeah, that's going to be the last time I get that close for a while now. Yeah, you're going to see me getting sent back to the beginning of the room a whole lot, because, yeah, that's just how this place is. Yeah, there I was kind of hoping for Ashlay to actually, smack the person who was sitting right in front of him, but nope. Guess he can't do that. And here looks like something I should be able to interact with. Nope, just a bit of architecture. Pretty looking architecture, but architecture all the same. And it is certain, yeah, there I have a bit of a Pac-Man moment where I realize, ooh, I should not have gone this way, as the way forward and back are completely blocked off. Yay! And, yep, there's another one. I should have checked how long I spent in this place. You guys can check probably for me, but don't need to, obviously. But yeah, this room. Of course, you know that. Oh, yeah, and then as soon as I get out of combat, I'm hit by yet another one of those little blue things. So, yeah, yay fun for me. And you know that all of this stuff will be used in a later dungeon that's going to be even more deadly. So, and oh, I am smart enough to run away from the blue things before they catch up to me. Yay! And then back to just regular knights, which relatively easy to beat up, which is nice. Don't have to worry about dealing with wizards for that long or much longer, at least for once. And finally get to the door, and then I decide not to go through the door because, only people who actually want to get out of this room in this dungeon would actually go in through the door that's sitting right there. And my god, past me, you are an idiot. Of course, past me is also the same idiot who forgot to check all of my levels. Yay, that. Ah, well. And more combat. I really like the fact that this game allows me to fast forward through combat relatively easily. Because, yeah, yes, doing boss fighting, having that slower, more methodical. And speaking of boss fighting, is that Joshua? Yeah, I would imagine so. It's him standing right there, unless you're talking about the giant. Let's help him. Bushwhacker, or Rubber Axe, and of course the Velikant again, who now has learned more baseball-like techniques. Luckily, we are still way over-leveled and can take him out with relative ease. Yay! And more levels for Ashlay, which were needed. And more savories. Huzzah! That was close. Thank you. Bravery, even by any other word. It was still an action I could not think I could do or call wise. I even got it wrong the first time. Bravery, even by any other word. It was still an action I do not think I could call wise. There we go. Do you not feel like speaking now? It shall likely be even more difficult up ahead for you to go alone, I'm sure. There we go. The truth is, I'm in search for my sister, for whom I was separated from when we were very young. And of course I'm going to tell you all about my backstory. Oh no! Brother! Brother! My parents were murdered, but I was thrown over a cliff. I was able to survive, probably because they were stupid enough to throw a person with wings off a cliff. That probably wouldn't be the best idea. I would have just probably stabbed me. However, I am... I'm not certain if my sister is alive or dead. I shall never forget my mortal enemy. That overwhelming murderous gaze and that crimson crest shield. There cannot be two of them in this world. A crimson shield with a crest, you say? Do you know him? No. When I'm not certain of myself, I tend to talk carelessly. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. I don't know that shield. I see. You are searching for the Eye of Truth, too, are you not? Would it be a bother if we were to assist you? Of course not. Please, by all means. And we get more party members with Joshua. Now, looking at the sprite, you see the long flowing green hair and all of that. Noticing he's got Heal and Cure All, which are both very nice spells, as well as some degrees of offensive magic. he has ice magic, earth magic, wind, and area effect ice magic, which are all nice. Um, I see what he's equipped with. He's equipped with a regular rod, which I move right up to the ruby wand because why not? It's just gathering dust at the moment anyway. Can't equip any more shields, head gear, leg gear, nope. He's got a flare ring, which reduces fire elemental magic by 50%, which ain't bad. And feather ring, a memento ring of her parents. That's when I realized, oh, maybe Joshua is a poor translation, and then I look at the face, and I'm like, okay, maybe Joshua is supposed to be a woman featherfolk? I mean, it could be. So at this point, I decide, okay, maybe I'll just change the name so I don't forget things later. And I think I go with Janice here. Even though, yeah, the uppercase J is kind of weird looking in that font. But yeah, it isn't until you have Joshua in combat that you realize Joshua's voice dialect is really, really low. So it's like, oh, yeah. I don't know, it's probably the item that's got an issue. He's got design sense, which is pretty common among my people, but he has perfect pitch, it sounds like. So, yeah, he'll probably be my musician in the party. Yep, whereas Ashlay is my animal handler. Yep, pitch sense, the ability to accurately grasp musical pitch. Yay! And blessing of mana, which just means has the ability to cast spells, which is always useful. Enters the party at level 15. I couldn't imagine you actually starting the game at level 15 or in being this point. Luckily, Tri-Shift keeps Joshua in the back, so I don't have to worry about changing my order at all. Because, yeah, he's not exactly super durable. So, yeah, at this point, I'm like playing here, and then, which you'll hear some videos on, yeah, Joshua has this really deep voice in the victory, which I'm realizing, oh, okay. I just gonna set him back to Joshua, because, I mean, it could be a person named Joshua who prefers she, her pronouns. That's totally fine. Could be the ring belongs to his sister. Could be. We totally aren't sure. Could also just be terribly translated. But, yep. Sorry, I'm running out of things to say at the very moment, because the dungeon is just sort of being a dungeon at this very point. Joshua is a pretty decent middle-of-the-road spellcaster. Has some decent offensive spells as well as defensive spells and healing spells, but kind of has the problem of not doing well at either. So, yeah, I'm not sure how long he's going to be part of the main party, quote unquote. But we'll figure out at some point. That said, certainly going to keep Joshua in the party now because, yeah, having a healer and a magic user at the same time is a good idea. At this point, yeah, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to flip all the switches as soon as I see them because why not? And not have to deal with, finding the switch again after a while. At this point, I head back and realize, yay, this door is open, and After dealing with the Pretty Bells, I realized, oh, the next door isn't open. I see what you're doing here, game. So, yeah, this post commentary will be continuing on until Saturday.